An Uplifting Ideas Guide. Chapter 1. An Uplifting Ideas Guide. Resist lies. Stand for the truth. Be peaceful. Be who you were born to be by nature. Kindness is always right. Arrogance and greed are always bad. Love your enemies. Try to be kind. Life should be an adventure of goodness, knowledge, wisdom, and fun. We should get closer to nature, to live naturally. We shouldn't let anybody mess with our true natures. We should try to make the world a better place to live for everybody. We should try to be good people and not be greedy. Love your neighbor. Believe in God. Stay away from evil people. 'Tis the voice of the slug guard, you heard him complain, you have waked me too soon, you must slumber again. As the door on its hinges, so he on his bed, turns his sides and his shoulders and his heavy herd. Isaac Watts. Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. So long as I get somewhere, Alice added as an explanation. Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is just putting on its shoes. Mark Twain. A great soul will be strong to live as well to think. Ralph Waldo Emerson. A friend is one who knows you and loves you just the same. Elbert Hubbard. A good laugh is sunshine in the house. William Thackeray. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. To love and win is the best thing. To love and lose, the next best. William M. Thackeray. A good conscience is a continual Christmas. Benjamin Franklin. A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Sir Winston Churchill. A dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than you love yourself. Josh Billings. A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until she's in hot water. Nancy Reagan. A dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than he loves himself. Josh Billings. A clay pot sitting in the sun will always be a clay pot. It has to go through the white heat of the furnace to become porcelain. Mildred White Steuben. A man who won't die for something is not fit to live. A lot of us would like to move mountains, but few of us are willing to practice on small hills. A verbal contract isn't worth the paper it is written on. Sam Goldwyn. A goal is a dream with a plan and a deadline. A conscience is what hurts when all your other parts feel so good. A bad habit is nothing more than a mistake repeated. A man in love is incomplete until he has married. Then he's finished. Sasa Gabor. A truly contented person enjoys the scenery along a detour. A no uttered from deepest conviction is better and greater than a yes merely uttered to please, or what is worse, to avoid trouble. Mahatma Gandhi. A ship in harbor is safe. But that is not what ships are for. John A. Shedd. A certain amount of opposition is of great help to a man. Kites rise against, not with the wind. John Neal. A man dies daily, only to be reborn in the morning, bigger, better and wiser. Emmett Fox. A mediocre idea that generates enthusiasm will go further than a great idea that inspires no one. Mary Kay Ash. A smile is the shortest distance between two people. A prudent question is one half of wisdom. Francis Bacon. A man doesn't know what he knows until he knows what he doesn't know. Lawrence J. Peter. A pessimist is a person who has had to listen to too many optimists. Don Marquis. A committee is a group that keeps minutes and loses hours. Milton Berle. A cheerful friend is like a sunny day. A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. George Bernard Shaw. A strong willpower will get you results. A man's treatment of animals reveals his character. A bird sings because it has a song. A winner is someone who recognizes their God-given talents and works Hard to develop them into useful skills. A feeling of indescribable joy flows from your heart. A successful man is one who makes more money than his wife can spend. A successful woman is one who can find such a man. Lana Turner. A clear conscience is usually the sign of a bad memory. A man's conquest of himself dwarfs everything else in life. Ability may get you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there. John Wooden. Abraham Lincoln observed that most people for most of the time can choose how happy or stressed, how relaxed or troubled, how bright or dull their outlook to be. Absence diminishes mediocre passions and increases great ones, as the wind extinguishes candles and fans fires. François de La Rochefoucauld. Accept people as they are. Accept people for who or what they are to avoid clashes. Accept the past. Live in the present. Be optimistic about the future. Accept the pain, cherish the joys, resolve the regrets. Accomplishments give us a sense of value. According to a new survey, women say they feel more comfortable undressing in front of men than they do undressing in front of other women. They say that women are too judgmental, where, of course, men are just grateful. Robert De Niro. Acting is the most minor of gifts and not a very high-class way to earn a living. After all, Shirley Temple could do it at the age of 4. Katharine Hepburn. Action is the only thing that matters. Add passion to your life. Adopt the pace of nature. The secret is patience. A bottle fills drop by drop. Max Steingart. After you become a millionaire, you can give all of your money away because what's important is not the $1 million, what's important is the person you have become in the process of becoming a millionaire. Age is a very high price to pay for maturity. Age is something that doesn't matter, unless you are wine. Yes, divorce, from the Latin word meaning to rip out a man's genitals through his wallet. Robin Williams. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. Martin Luther King, Jr. All that you do, do with all your might. All generalizations are false, including this one. Mark Twain. All difficult things have their origin in that which is easy and great things in that which is small. Lao Tzu. All the things I really like are either immoral, illegal, or fattening. Alexander Woolcott. All work becomes simple and pleasant. All events are blessings given to us to learn from. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. All the darkness in the world cannot put out the light of a single candle. Allow yourself to dream and fantasize about your ideal life, what it would look like and what it would feel like. Then do something every day to make it a reality. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Helen Keller. Always hold your head up, but keep your nose at a friendly level. Always remember that you are absolutely unique. Just like everyone else. Margaret Mead. It takes considerable knowledge just to realize the extent of your own ignorance. Thomas Sowell. Always be sincere, even if you don't mean it. Harry S. Truman. Always be sincere, even if you have to fake it. George Burns. An obstacle may be either a stepping stone or a stumbling block. An eye for eye only ends up making the whole world blind. M.K. Gandhi. Any of us will put more and better ideas if our efforts are appreciated. Alexander Osborne. Are you not destroying your enemies when you make friends of them? Abraham Lincoln. As soils are depleted, human health, vitality and intelligence go with them. Louis Bromfield. As a man thinketh, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Ask yourself whether you are happy and you cease to be so. At the touch of love everyone becomes a poet. Plato. At first, dreams seem impossible, then improbable, and eventually inevitable. Christopher Reeve. At this very moment all my actions are perfect. At any time, an entirely new possibility is liable to come along and spin you off in an entirely new direction. Attend to your mind's most joyful, Effective discovery process. Avoid loud noises, toxins and hazardous places. Avoid the crowd. Do your own thinking independently. Be the chess player, not the chess piece. Ralph Carroll. Bad habits are like chains that are too light to feel until they are too heavy to carry. Warren Buffett. Base most of your fashion taste on what doesn't itch. In politics, if you want anything said, ask a man; if you want anything done, ask a woman. Margaret Thatcher. Be true to yourself. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. John Wooden. Be strong but not rude, be kind, but not weak, be bold, but not a bully. Be energetic, creative, and young in body and mind. Be awfully nice going up, because you're going to meet them all coming down. Jimmy Durante. Be the man you wanted to marry. Be happy in your work. Be young in mind and heart by finding new interests and new friends. Be open to learn new things. Be happy with what you've got, while in pursuit of what you want. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man. Benjamin Franklin. Be ready when opportunity comes. Persistent people begin their success where others end in failure. Edward Eggleston. Beauty is an experience, nothing else. It is not a fixed pattern or an arrangement of features. It is something felt, a glow or a communicated sense of fineness. What ails us is that our sense of beauty is so bruised and blunted, we miss all the best. D.H. Lawrence. Become all that you have the possibility of becoming. Before you criticize someone, walk a mile in his shoes. Before you contradict an old man, my fair friend, you should endeavor to understand him. George Santayana. Before you build a better mousetrap, it helps to know if there are any mice out there. Mortimer B. Zuckerman. Behind every successful man is a surprised woman. Marion Pearson. Behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes. Being grateful is a great attitude. Most of the news we hear or read is bad news. Starting the day with bad news does not seem to be a sensible thing to do. Being part of a religious group with its singing, sacraments, chanting, prayers and meditations helps with inner peace. Being happy protects you from the stresses of life. Being powerful is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you are, you aren't. Margaret Thatcher. Believe in yourself when nobody else will. Believe in yourself and you will be unstoppable. Believe in your innate wisdom. Believe that you have it and you will have it. Believe that anything is possible. Bessie Braddock to Winston Churchill. Winston, you're drunk. Churchill, Bessie, you're ugly. But tomorrow you shall be sober. Better a witty fool than a foolish wit. William Shakespeare. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt. Better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Better to do something imperfectly than to do nothing flawlessly. Robert Schuller. Between two evils, I always pick the one I never tried before. Mae West. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Stephen Covey. Between two evils, you always pick the one you never tried before. Mae West. Between each dawn and setting sun, set aside some time for fun. Big shots are only little shots who keep shooting. Christopher Morley. Bills travel through the mail at twice the speed of checks. Biologically speaking, if something bites you, it is more likely to be female. Desmond Morris. Bisexuality immediately doubles your chances for a date on Saturday night. Rodney Dangerfield. Blessed are those who can give without remembering and take without forgetting. Elizabeth Bibesco. Bolster the self-beliefs that add confidence, lucidity, and tenacity to your efforts. Both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. Napoleon Hill. Buddha left a road map, Jesus left a road map, Krishna left a road map, Rand McNally left a road map. But you still have to travel the road yourself. Stephen Levine. Build for yourself a strong box, fashion each part with care. When it's strong as your hand can make it, put all your troubles there. Hide there all thought of your failures and each bitter cup that you quaff. Lock all your heartaches within it, then sit on the lid and laugh. Bertha Adams Backus. By all means marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy, if you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. Socrates. By all means let's be open-minded, but not so open-minded that our brains drop out. Richard Dawkins. By the time a man is wise enough to watch his step, he's too old to go anywhere. Camping is nature's way of promoting the motel business. Dave Barry. Care about your fellow man. Cats make one of the most satisfying sounds in the world, they purr. Celebrate life. Celebration is made up of gratitude and joy. Challenge your limits. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Charity sees the need, not the cause. Character develops itself in the stream of life. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Cherish your visions and your dreams as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate accomplishments. Napoleon Hill. Class is an aura of confidence that is being sure without being cocky. Class has nothing to do with money. Class never runs scared. It is self-discipline and self-knowledge. It's the sure-footedness that comes with having proved you can meet life. And Landers. Cleanliness becomes more important when godliness is unlikely. P.J. O'Rourke. Climb a steep hill slowly. Clinton lied. A man might forget where he parks or where he lives, but he never forgets oral sex, no matter how bad it is. Barbara Bush. Clothes make the man. Naked people have little or no influence on society. Common sense is not so common. Voltaire. Common sense is the knack of seeing things as they are and doing things as they ought to be done. Harriet Beecher Stowe. Concentrate on the most important thing. Concentrate to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to face the world. Concern yourself not with what you tried and failed in, but with what it is still possible for you to do. Pope John XXIII. Consult not your fears but your hopes and your dreams. Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential. Winston Churchill. Count your reasons for being happy instead of unhappy. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Ambrose Redmoon. Courage and perseverance have a magical talisman, before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish into air. John Quincy Adams. Courage is facing your fears. Only stupid people fear nothing. Courage is the mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. Creativity means believing you have greatness. I can't believe that God put us on this earth just to be ordinary. Lou Holtz. Creativity is so delicate a flower that praise tends to make it bloom, while discouragement often nips it in the bud. Creativity is inventing, experimenting, growing, taking risks, breaking rules, making mistakes and having fun. Mary Lou Cook. Creativity can solve almost any problem. The creative act, the defeat of habit by originality, overcomes everything. George Lois. Curiosity must be kept alive. Cut not the wings of your dreams, for they are the heartbeat and the freedom of your soul. Flavia. Dance like no one's watching, love like you'll never be hurt, sing like no one's listening, live like it's heaven on earth. William Pukey. Dare to be powerful, to use your strength in the service of your vision. Day by day, in all ways, you are becoming better and better. Day by day everything is getting better. Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Decide what is worthwhile and follow through with it. Decide on what you think is right and stick to it. Declare that you are going to be an optimistic, upbeat person at all times. Dedicate yourself to continuous improvement. Destiny is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for, it is a thing to be achieved. Jeremy Kitson. Destiny is not a matter of chance, but of choice. Not something to wish for, but to attain. William Jennings Bryan. Determine your destiny. Develop the intellectual and moral qualities of a man of willpower. Develop energy by putting your body in top physical condition. Discipline is the foundation of success. Do small things because they show who you are. Do things that are likely to bring you good fortune. Do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do what you love to do. Do not worry about tomorrow, each day has enough trouble of its own. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not accept a passive lifestyle. Live an active life. Do not take life too seriously. You will never get out of it alive. Albert Hubbard. When you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Albert Einstein. Do not think that love, in order to be genuine, has to be extraordinary. Mother Teresa. Do not worry about avoiding temptation. As you grow older, it will avoid you. Joey Adams. Do everything with love. There is nothing more likely to start disagreement among people or countries than an agreement. E.B. White. Do all things with love. Og Mandino. Doctor to patient, you have good news and bad news. The good news is that you are not a hypochondriac. Dogs are not our whole life, but they make our lives whole. Roger Caras. Doing what we were meant to do creates fun, excitement, and contentment in our lives. Doing your best is more important than being the best. Don't be afraid of the space between your dreams and reality. Don't be afraid to go after what you want to do and pay the price to get it. Don't tell me that worry doesn't do any good. The things you worry about don't happen. Don't be afraid your life will end, be afraid that it will never begin. Grace Hansen. Don't argue with an idiot, people watching may not be able to tell the difference. Don't be discouraged by a failure. It can be a positive experience. Failure is, in a sense, the highway to success, in as much as every discovery of what is false leads us to seek earnestly after what is true, and every fresh experience points out some form of error which we shall afterwards carefully avoid. John Keats. Don't smother each other. No one can grow in the shade. Leo Buscaglia. Don't worry about avoiding temptation. As you grow older, it will avoid you. Don't accept your dog's admiration as conclusive evidence that you are wonderful. Don't look back. Something might be gaining on you. Satchel Paige. Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that is the stuff that life is made of. Do not take life too seriously. Doubt is a pain too lonely to know that faith is his twin brother. Khalil Gibran. Dream and work. Dream, act, and believe. Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today. James Dean. Dream and achievements with hard work. Dreams are renewable. Dress for success. Dwelling on the negative simply contributes to its power. Dying is a wild night and a new road. By Emily Dickinson. Dying seems less sad than having lived too little. Gloria Steinem. Each of us has a deep universal spirit that connects us all at a profound level. We can use it to help each other. Each of us was born with wings and has the ability to go farther than we ever thought possible, to do things beyond our wildest imaginings. Barbara Stanny. Each forward step we take we leave some phantom of ourselves behind. John Lancaster Spalding. Each of us is great insofar as we perceive and act on the infinite possibilities which lie undiscovered and unrecognized about us. James Harvey Robinson. Early to rise and early to bed makes a male healthy and wealthy and dead. James Thurber. Earn as much money as you possibly can and as quickly as you can. Eat well, be fit, die anyway. Eliminate worrying as wasted time as much as possible. Encourage me. Energy creates energy. It is by spending oneself that one becomes rich. Sarah Byrne. Enthusiasm is the match that lights the candle of achievement. William Arthur Ward. Even on the most exalted throne in the world we are only sitting on our own bottom. Michel de Montaigne. Even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. Even if we find ourselves in an unbearable situation, we can always find solace in the knowledge that it too will change. Even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. Every breath you take increases vitality. Every time you close the door on reality, it comes in through the windows. Every time you get rejected, keep going. Every time I see an adult on a bicycle, I no longer despair for the future of the human race. Every man dies. Not every man lives. Tim Robbins in The Shawshank Redemption. Every time you leave a man, you keep his house. Sasa Gabor. Every charitable act is a stepping stone toward heaven. Henry Ward Beecher. Every trial endured and weathered in the right spirit makes a soul nobler and stronger than it was before. James Buckham. Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Every day your personality becomes stronger and more positive. Every great advance in science has issued from a new audacity of imagination. John Dewey. Every time you feel yourself getting tense or upset, think of peace. Every minute you spend in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. Everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. Charles D. Warner. Everybody wants to be loved and respected as a person. Everybody likes to go their own way to choose their own time and manner of devotion. Jane Austen. Everyone has inside of him a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. Anne Frank. Everything has its wonders, even darkness and silence, and you learn, whatever state you may be in, therein to be content. Everything depends on me and nothing but me. Everything's in the mind. Excellence is not being the best, it is doing your best. Experience is one thing you can't get for nothing. Oscar Wilde. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. Express your feelings, affections, and passion to others. Face the future with anticipation, not fear. Faced with the choice between changing one's mind and proving that there is no need to do so, almost everyone gets busy on the proof. Galbraith's Law. Failure is impatience and greed. Failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Failure is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead end. Dennis Waitley. Failure is only the opportunity to more intelligently begin again. Henry Ford. Failure is not the worst thing in the world, the very worst is not to try. Failure is part of the success process. Failure and rejection are only the first step to succeeding. Far and away the best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Theodore Roosevelt. Far away there in the sunshine are your highest aspirations. You may not reach them, but you can look up and see their beauty, believe in them and try to follow where they lead. Louisa May Alcott. Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, though checkered with failure, than to take rank with those poor souls, who neither enjoy much or suffer much, because they live in the great twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. Far better is it to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in a great twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. Theodore Roosevelt. Fear and worrying are a waste of time and energy. Fear of becoming a has-been keeps some people from becoming anything. Fear and worry is just the misuse of the creative powers we originally got to dream. Janny Putter. Feel fine, look great. Feel younger, more relaxed and healthy. Feel your willpower getting stronger. Feel good about myself. Feel stronger and more alive. Fight until the end. Find your work more and more fulfilling. Finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in, forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day, begin it well and serenely and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. First keep the peace within yourself, then you can also bring peace to others. Flow with abundance. You have the right to be rich, healthy, and prosperous. Focus on what to do next. Focus and concentration are the keys to success. Focus on your strengths. Follow your bliss. Joseph Campbell. Follow your energy and do what you want all the time. For all sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest are these, it might have been. John Greenleaf Whittier. For I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Philippians 4:13. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet and the winds long to play with your hair. Khalil Gibran. Forgive others. Forgiveness is like sunshine after a rainy day. Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you rich. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Thomas Edison. Genius is the gold in the mine, talent is the miner who works and brings it out. Lady Blessington. Gentleness and kind persuasion win where force and bluster fail. Get your facts first, then you can distort them as you please. Get the impulse to soar. Only rest long enough to revitalize. Get calm, turn your mind inward and look deeply into yourself. Concentrate on love, peace, compassion, and hope. Get the most you can out of this day. Giant oak trees started out as little nuts that held their ground. Give up being helpless. Go forth under the open sky and live bravely. Go directly to your goal. Be your goal. Go to heaven for the climate, hell for the company. God is the Spirit living in me and the source of all wisdom and enlightenment. God is the light shining on your path. God is watching over me. God gives talent, work transforms talent into genius. Anna Pavlova. Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the stronger the trees. Williard Marriott. Goodwill is the one and only asset that competition cannot undersell or destroy. Marshall Field. Government is like a baby, an alimentary canal with a big appetite at one end and no sense of responsibility at the other. Ronald Reagan. Government's view of the economy could be summed up in a few short phrases: if it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it. Gratitude opens the windows of opportunity. Great ambition is the passion of a great character. Napoleon Bonaparte. Great works are performed, not by strength, but by perseverance. Samuel Johnson. Growth, in some curious way, you suspect, depends on being always in motion just a little bit, one way or another. Norman Mailer. Guard well your spare moments. They are like uncut diamonds. Discard them and their value will never be known. Improve them and they will become the brightest gems in a useful life. Happiness doesn't depend upon who you are or what you have, it depends solely upon what you think. Dale Carnegie. Happiness is an attitude of mind, born of the simple determination to be happy under all outward circumstances. Happiness is achievement. Happiness is not best achieved by those who seek it directly. Bertrand Russell. Happiness is a butterfly, which, when pursued, is always just beyond your grasp, but which, if you will sit down quietly, may alight upon you. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city. Happiness is in everyone. Increasing it is a way to make a life more wonderful. Haste trips its own heels and fetters and stops itself. Lucius Annius Seneca. Have confidence in yourself and in the future. Have youthful enthusiasm and sense of curiosity. Have radiant health, boundless energy, and vitality. Have a positive mental attitude. Having one child makes you a parent, having two you are a referee. David Frost. Having fun is success. Having sex is like playing bridge. If you don't have a good partner, you'd better have a good hand. Woody Allen. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. Lao Tzu. He who reigns within himself and rules his passions, desires, and fears is more than a king. John Milton. He who promises more than he is able to perform, is false to himself, and he who does not perform what he has promised, is a traitor to his friend. George Shelley. He who has learned to disagree without being disagreeable has discovered the most valuable secret of a diplomat. Robert Estabrook. He that cannot reason is a fool. He that will not is a bigot. He that dare not is a slave. Andrew Carnegie. He has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much. Bessie Anderson Stanley. He who asks a question is a fool for a minute, he who does not remains a fool forever. He who has health, has hope, and he who has hope has everything. Arabian proverb. Health nuts are going to feel stupid someday, lying in hospitals dying of nothing. Red Fox. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? Benjamin Franklin. History is the version of past events that people have decided to agree upon. Napoleon Bonaparte. History has demonstrated that the most notable winners usually encountered heartbreaking obstacles before they triumphed. They won because they refused to become discouraged by their defeats. Bertie C. Forbes. Hitch your wagon to a star. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is like a broken record. Honesty is the cornerstone of all success. How far you go in life depends on you being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving and tolerant of the weak and the strong. Because someday in life you will have been all of these. George Washington Carver. Humans have the remarkable ability to get exactly what they must have. Hustle for your dreams. I refrain from doing anything that may cause me harm. I am in control of my actions. I will get what I want. I am conscious willpower. I feel fine. I like thinking of possibilities. I feel really good. I win all the time. I won. I have the right to win. I don't want to worry now, I'll worry tomorrow. I feel better and better. I think we all want good schools for our kids. I no doubt deserved my enemies, but I don't believe I deserved my friends. Walt Whitman. I am full of the wisdom of divine life. I have a pleasant and lively mind. I feel constant well-being. I always remember an epitaph which is in the cemetery at Tombstone, Arizona. It says, "Here lies Jack Williams. He done his damnedest." You think that is the greatest epitaph a man can have? Harry S. Truman. I shall adopt new views as fast as they shall appear to be true views. I am intelligent, brilliant, and amusing. I am completely calm. I love doing what makes me feel good. I am a child of wealth flowing through me freely, joyously, and eternally. I love my body and accept it totally. I have the power to feel good. I think. Therefore I'm single. Liz Winstead. I never met a kid I liked. W.C. Fields. I am a worthy person. I am enriched with happiness, peace, wealth, and love. I can do it and want to do it. I have never killed a man, but have read many obituaries with great pleasure. Clarence Darrow. I think we should take Iraq and Iran and combine them into one country and call it Irate. All the pissed off people live in one place and get it over with. Dennis Leary. I know the price of success, dedication, hard work, and an unremitting devotion to the things you want to see happen. Frank Lloyd Wright. I wanted to change the world. But you have found that the only thing one can be sure of changing is oneself. Aldous Huxley. I like not only to be loved, but to be told you are loved. George Eliot. I long to accomplish a great and noble task, but it is your chief duty to accomplish small tasks as if they were great and noble. I have willpower. I never give in to outside influences. I don't care what people may think. I have the willpower to act. I do not let circumstance defeat me. I can direct my actions towards accomplishing projects. I can do it. I never hated a man enough to give his diamonds back. I have wondered at times about what the 10 Commandments would have looked like if Moses had run them through the U.S. Congress. I think, therefore I am. René Descartes. I not only use all the brains that you have, but all that you can borrow. Woodrow Wilson. I only ask to be free. The butterflies are free. Charles Dickens. I haven't spoken to my wife in years. I didn't want to interrupt her. I was married by a judge. You should have asked for a jury. Groucho Marx. I never drink water because of the disgusting things that fish do in it. W.C. Fields. I try to take one day at a time, but sometimes several days attack me at once. I would never die for my beliefs because I might be wrong. Bertrand Russell. I have never been hurt by what you have not said. Calvin Coolidge. I find the great thing in this world is not so much where we stand, as in what direction we are moving. Olive Wendell Holmes, Sr. I think that when Americans go to vote, states should not list what party the candidates are affiliated with. That would require voters to actually think and get to know a candidate instead of voting for their favorite gang. Oh, this guy is a Republican, so he must be good. Jesse Ventura. I am always willing to learn, however I do not always like to be taught. Winston Churchill. I have learned that only 2 things are necessary to keep one's wife happy. First, let her think she's having her own way. And second, let her have it. Lyndon B. Johnson. I love sleep because it is both pleasant and safe to use. Fran Lebowitz. I wanted to change the world. I couldn't wait for success, so I went ahead without it. Jonathan Winters. I am free of all prejudices. I hate everyone equally. W.C. Fields. I believe that it is better to tell the truth than a lie. I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details. I am beginning to learn that it is the sweet, simple things of life which are the real ones after all. Laura Ingalls Wilder. W.C. Fields. I am always busy, which is perhaps the chief reason why you are always well. Elizabeth Cady Stanton. I don't think anything is unrealistic if you believe you can do it. I know a lot of people without brains who do an awful lot of talking. The Scarecrow, Wizard of Oz. I have never met a man so ignorant that you couldn't learn something from him. Galileo, 1564 to 1642. I have confidence in myself. I made this letter longer than usual because I lack the time to make it short. Blaise Pascal. I am wealthy within and without. I do not think there is any other quality so essential to success of any kind as the quality of perseverance. I have worth because I struggle to survive. I evaluate worth by asking how good I feel about myself. I am strong. I am invincible. I would rather fail in a cause that would ultimately succeed, than succeed in a cause that would ultimately fail. I am making progress, moving forward. I will do work that interests me. I am strong and vital. I give thanks for health, beauty, and vitality. I pray every day to become wiser. I am energetic and overflowing with vitality. I am unique and unlimited. I feel relaxed and happy. I can be inspired. I am gaining balance and vitality. I'm a winner. I'm doing fine, intellectually, physically and financially. I feel good. I'm not afraid of death. I'm going to guess Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives, all want clean air to breathe and clean water to drink. I'm sure most people think women should be paid the same as men if they're doing the same job. I'm likable, enthusiastic, warm, and honest. I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because you know I'm not dumb and you also know that I'm not blonde. Dolly Parton. I've dreamt dreams that have stayed with me. Ideas are like rabbits. You get a couple and learn how to handle them and pretty soon you have a dozen. John Steinbeck. Identify your weaknesses and negative points. Try to improve them. If God shuts one door, He opens another. If you would be loved, love and be lovable. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Bert Lance. If a man has talent and cannot use it, he has failed. If he has a talent and uses only half of it, he has partly failed. If he has a talent and learns somehow to use the whole of it, he has gloriously succeeded and has a satisfaction and a triumph few men ever know. Thomas Wolfe. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he had imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry David Thoreau. If the facts don't fit the theory, change the facts. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost, that is where they should be. Now put foundations under them. Henry David Thoreau. If you wish to reach the highest, begin at the lowest. Publius Syrus. If music be the food of love, play on. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. If at first you don't succeed, try again. If you own the problem, you own the customer. If you lose the problem, you lose the customer. It's just that simple. Jeffrey Gitomer. If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under. If you're too open-minded, your brains will fall out. If at first you do succeed, hide your astonishment. If you don't quit and don't cheat and don't run home when trouble arrives, you can only win. Shelley Long. If men can run the world, why can't they stop wearing neckties? How intelligent is it to start the day by tying a little noose around your neck? Linda Ellerby. If you don't design your life, you'll fall into someone else's plan. If we take care of the moments, the years will take care of themselves. If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. Dolly Parton. If arguments seem unavoidable, walk away for 10 minutes. If you can't take responsibility for your own well-being, you will never take control over it. If you can't get rid of the skeleton in your closet, you'd best teach it to dance. If you share a good idea long enough, it will always fall upon good people. If you can hold onto your sense of humor while you are going through hard times, you're good. If you don't know where you are going, any road will get you there. If you can't be kind, at least be vague. Judith Martin. If your mind isn't open, keep your mouth shut too. Sue Grafton. If you have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Isaac Newton. If you are on the road to nowhere, find another road. Ashanti proverb. If I knew for a certainty that a man was coming to my house with the conscious design of doing me good, I should run for my life. If you can actually count your money, then you are not really a rich man. J. Paul Getty. If I had to live my life again, I'd make the same mistakes, only sooner. Tallulah Bankhead. If you can't be a good example, then you'll just have to be a warning. If you wish to travel far and fast, travel light. Take off all your envies, jealousies, unforgiveness, selfishness, and fears. Glenn Clark. If you made a list of reasons why any couple got married and another list of the reasons for their divorce, you'd have a hell of a lot of overlapping. Mignon McLaughlin. If life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade. If you would win a man to your cause, first convince him that you are his sincere friend. History never looks like history when you are living through it. The moment of victory is much too short to live for that and nothing else. To be what one can be is purpose in life. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. That is the principal difference between a dog and a man. If there are no dogs in heaven, then when you die you want to go where they went. Will Rogers. If you go to work on your goals will go to work on you. If you go to work on your plan will go to work on you. If two wrongs don't make a right, try three. If you reveal your secrets to the wind, you should not blame the wind for revealing them to the trees. Khalil Gibran. If you can dream it, you can do it. Walt Disney. If you are haunted by harmful and unhealthy thoughts, refuse to think about them. If you are assailed by doubt, fear, and worry, use faith to overcome them. If you want to get somewhere you have to know where you want to go and how to get there. If you don't risk anything, you risk even more. If the mind of man can believe, the mind of man can achieve. If high heels were so wonderful, men would be wearing them. I'm not going to vacuum till Sears makes one you can ride on. Roseanne Barr. If you want to earn more, learn more. If you are never scared, embarrassed, or hurt, it means you never take chances. Julia Soul. If you deliberately plan on being less than you are capable of being, then you'll be unhappy for the rest of your life. If you want to feel rich, count the things you have that money can't buy. If we are to achieve results never before accomplished, we must expect to employ methods never before attempted. If you have any beliefs about immortality, it is that certain dogs you have known will go to heaven and very, very few persons. James Thurber. If you can dream it, you can make it real. Image is very important. Imagination is the highest kite that one can fly. Lauren Bacall. Imagination is the highest that one can fly. Imagine. John Lennon. In the final analysis there is no solution to man's progress but the day's honest work, the day's honest decisions, the day's generous utterances and the day's good deed. Claire Booth Luce. In the long run, we only hit what we aim at. In winter you get up at night and dress by yellow candlelight. In summer, quite the other way, you have to go to bed by day. Robert Louis Stevenson. In love the paradox occurs that two beings become one and yet remain two. Eric Fromm. In each of us are places where we have never gone. Only by pressing the limits do you ever find them. Dr. Joyce Brothers. In matters of style, swim with the current, in matters of principle, stand like a rock. Thomas Jefferson. In the practice of tolerance, one's enemy is the best teacher. Dalai Lama. In the future everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. Andy Warhol. In the face of unjust criticism we can become bitter or better, upset or understanding, hostile or humble, furious or forgiving. In every person who comes near you look for what is good and strong, honor that, try to imitate it and your faults will drop off like dead leaves when their time comes. John Ruskin. In our daily lives, we must see that it is not happiness that makes us grateful, but the gratefulness that makes us happy. Albert Clark. In public life, every time you say something that you are potentially alienating a whole group of people. Like if you say you're a Democrat, many Republicans will instantly dislike you. In this world it is not what we take up, but what we give up, that makes us rich. Henry Ward Beecher. Infinite wealth appears easily in your life. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Inspiration grows into full-scale creation through persistence and imagination. Carol Lloyd. Instead of worrying about being afraid, Do something about it. Instead of being bored, discover new sources of interest and opportunities. Instead of thinking about where you are, think about where you want to be. It is surprising what a man can do when he has to and how little most men will do when they don't have to. Walter Lynn. It is funny about life, if you refuse to accept anything but the very best, you will very often get it. W. Somerset Maugham. It is the mind that makes us happy or sad, rich or poor. It doesn't happen all at once. You become. It takes a long time. Marjorie Williams. It is always the best policy to tell the truth, unless of course you are an exceptionally good liar. Jerome K. Jerome. It is a kingly act to assist the fallen. Mother Teresa. It doesn't matter what you are thinking or what fear you have, if you just do it. It takes a great man to be a good listener. It takes less time to do things right than to explain why you did it wrong. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. It is a fine thing to have ability, but the ability to discover ability in others is the true test. It is not your aptitude, but your attitude, that determines your altitude. It is difficult to say what is impossible, for the dreams of yesterday are the hopes of today and the realities of tomorrow. It is good to dream, but it is better to dream and work. Faith is mighty, but action with faith is mightier. Thomas Robert Gaines. It is not your aptitude, but your attitude, that determines your altitude. Zig Ziglar. It is good to be alive. It is not the great temptations that ruin us, it is the little ones. John W. DeForest. It takes a lot of things to prove you are smart, but only one thing to prove you are ignorant. Don Harold. It is better to hold out a hand than to point a finger. It takes but one positive thought when given a chance to survive and thrive to overpower an entire army of negative thoughts. Robert H. Schuller. It was such a lovely day you thought it a pity to get up. It had long since come to your attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. Eleanor Smith. It is neither wealth nor splendor, but tranquility and occupation which give happiness. It is hard for the average ape to believe that he has descended from man. H.L. Mencken. It's easy. It's the constant and determined effort that breaks down all resistance and sweeps away all obstacles. Claude M. Bristol. It's not what you do, but the way you do it. It's not what you say, but the way you say it. It's only when we truly know and understand that we have a limited time on earth and that we have no way of knowing when our time is up that we will begin to live each day to the fullest, as if it were the only one we had. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. Claude M. Bristol. It's hard to be nostalgic when you can't remember anything. It's not the people who are in prison worry me. It's the people who aren't. Arthur Gore. It's not the men in your life that counts, it's the life in your men. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Vince Lombardi. It's better to be looked over than overlooked. Walt Disney. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. Joy is in what we are. Joy, wisdom, and the peace of God are in my mind. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you, too, can become great. Keep away from people who belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great, make you feel that you too can become great. Keep fighting. Persevere. Keep your integrity. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see the shadow. It's what sunflowers do. Keep true, never be ashamed of doing right. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. Know your strengths and struggles. Know where you are going. Knowing what you want is the first step toward getting it. Knowledge is power. Lack of forgiveness is evil. Laugh and the world laughs with you, snore and you sleep alone. Laugh heartily every day. Laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is much more important than applause. Applause is almost a duty. Laughter is a reward. Carol Channing. Laziness may appear attractive, but work gives satisfaction. Anne Frank. Leadership is not magnetic personality that can just as well be a glib tongue. It is not making friends and influencing people that is flattery. Leadership is lifting a person's vision to higher heights, the raising of a person's performance to a higher standard, the building of a personality beyond its normal limitations. Peter Drucker. Learn to self-conquest, persevere thus for a time and you will perceive very clearly the advantage which you gain from it. Saint Teresa of Avila. Learn from mistakes. Learn, teach, share. Learn from your defeats. Learn to get in touch with the silence within yourself and know that everything in this life has purpose. Learning makes us expand and broaden our horizons. Feel alive. Learning is joy. Leaving sex to the feminists is like letting your dog vacation at the taxidermist. Matt Berry. Let the little things go. Let everyone sweep in front of his own door and the whole world will be clean. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Let others lead small lives. Let others argue over small things. Let others cry over small hurts. Follow yourself. Let go of your failings. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which you have got a hold of for the moment and you want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. George Bernard Shaw. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. Life is a great big canvas and you should throw all the paint you can on it. Danny Kaye. Life is filled with possibilities. Life without liberty is like a body without spirit. Khalil Gibran. Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Life without risks is not worth living. Charles A. Lindbergh. Life is either an adventure or nothing. Life is hard. After all, it kills you. Katharine Hepburn. Life can be sex or making love. Sex is doing the routine. Making love is loving it. Life was meant to be lived and curiosity must be kept alive. One must never, for whatever reason, turn one's back on life. Eleanor Roosevelt. Life begets life. Life's battles don't always go to the faster, stronger man. The man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Light is the task where many share the toil. Homer. Listen carefully when others speak. Live simply. Live out of your imagination, not your history. Stephen Covey. Live your life so that when you die, people will feel sad. Live such that you will have no regrets. Live with passion. Live a happy, resilient, and optimistic life. Live truthfully according to your values. Live well. Live with freedom, failure, success, and responsibility. Live out of your imagination. Live with intention. Walk to the edge. Listen hard. Practice wellness. Play with abandon. Laugh. Choose with no regret. Continue to learn. Appreciate your friends. Do what you love. Live as if this is all there is. Mary Ann Rodaker Hershey. Look at a day when you are supremely satisfied at the end. It's not a day when you lounge around doing nothing, it's when you've had everything to do and you've done it. Looking to the stars always makes me dream, as simply as you dream over the black dots representing towns and villages on a map. Vincent van Gogh. Love in its essence is spiritual fire. Lucius Annius Seneca. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always perseveres. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. Love all, trust a few. Do wrong to none. Love does not dominate, it cultivates. Love, a temporary insanity curable by marriage. Ambrose Bierce. Love gives itself, it is not bought. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Love is that condition in which the happiness of another person is essential to your own. Robert A. Heinlein. Love is an irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired. Robert Frost. Love takes up where knowledge leaves off. St. Thomas Aquinas. Love does not consist in gazing at each other but in looking outward together in the same direction. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Love yourself first and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world. Lucille Ball. Love is not altogether a delirium, yet it has many points in common therewith. Thomas Carlyle. Love conquers all. Virgil. Love is the wisdom of the fool and the folly of the wise. Samuel Johnson. Love is the flower you've got to let grow. John Lennon. Love is the triumph of imagination over intelligence. H.L. Mencken. Love does not begin and end the way we seem to think it does. Love is a battle, love is a war, love is a growing up. James A. Baldwin. Luck is the time when preparation and opportunity meet. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. William Shakespeare. Maintaining a complicated life is a great way to be messed up. Make your work an exercise in concentration and interest. Make education a continuing process. Man is made or unmade by himself. By the right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the grades of character, and man is their maker and master. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. Man is so made that when anything fires his soul, impossibilities vanish. Jean de La Fontaine. Man's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimensions. Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. Marriage is a wonderful institution, but who would want to live in an institution? Marriage is a great institution, but I'm not ready for an institution yet. Mae West. Material success may result in the accumulation of possessions, but only spiritual success will enable you to enjoy them. Nido Qubein. Maturity is achieved when a person postpones immediate pleasures for long-term values. Joshua L. Liebman. Maximize your human potential and stretch yourself to the limit. Maybe it's true that life begins at 50. But everything else starts to wear out, fall out, or spread out. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves, they therefore remain bound. James Allen. Men occasionally stumble, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. Money can't buy you happiness, but it does bring you a more pleasant form of misery. Spike Milligan. Money won't buy happiness, but it will pay the salaries of a large research staff to study the problem. Most of us know how to say nothing, but few of us know when. Most men succeed because they are determined to. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. Seneca. Most of the shadows of this life are caused by standing on one's own sunshine. Most people are about as happy as they make up their mind to be. Abe Lincoln. Motivation alone is not enough. Motivation doesn't last. Do it daily like washing. Mountaintops inspire leaders but valleys mature them. J. Philip Everson. Music does bring people together. It allows us to experience the same emotions. People everywhere are the same in heart and spirit. No matter what language we speak, what color we are, the form of our politics or the expression of our love and our faith, music proves, we are the same. John Denver. Must we to bed indeed? Well then, let us arise and go like men and face with an undaunted tread the long black passage up to bed. My soul knows exactly what is good for me. My mind is free of all worry. My mind is free of doubt and worry. My goal is simple. It is complete understanding of the universe, why it as it is and why it exists as all. Stephen Hawking. My formula for success is rise early, work late and strike oil. My wife is a sex object. Every time you ask for sex, she objects. My life is a free flow of infinite wealth. My heart contains perfect wisdom. My capacity for being a person with no limits is in my own hands. My wife is a sex object. Every time you ask for sex, she objects. Lay Dawson. My basic principle is that you don't make decisions because they are easy, you don't make them because they are cheap, you don't make them because they are popular, you make them because they're right. Theodore Hesburgh. My affairs are improving every day. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. My father had a profound influence on me, he was a lunatic. Spike Milligan. My work is a joy and a pleasure. Nagging is the repetition of unpalatable truths. Baroness Edith Summerskill. Nature is the art of God. Nature tops the list of potent tranquilizers and stress reducers. The mere sound of moving water has been shown to lower blood pressure. Patch Adams. Nature is the master of talents, genius is the master of nature. Josiah Gilbert Holland. Neither a lofty degree of intelligence nor imagination nor both together go to the making of genius. Love, 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 that is the soul of genius. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Never mistake motion for action. Ernest Hemingway. Never wear anything that panics the cat. P.J. O'Rourke. Never give up. Never lose your sense of wonder about life. Never, never, never give up. Never continue in a job you don't enjoy. If you're happy in what you're doing, you'll like yourself, you'll have inner peace. And if you have that, along with physical health, you will have had more success than you could possibly have imagined. Johnny Carson. Never complain and never explain. Benjamin Disraeli. Never look down on anybody unless you're helping him up. Jesse Jackson. Norman Vincent Peale. Never tell people how to do things. Tell them what to do and they will surprise you with their ingenuity. General George S. Patton. Never look at what you have lost. No army can withstand the strength of an idea whose time has come. Victor Hugo. No man ever became great without many and great mistakes. No one can make you feel inferior without your permission. Eleanor Roosevelt. No one's head aches when he is comforting another. No one is in control of your happiness but you. No one is forcing you to do anything. You don't have to do anything. No man is fit to command another that cannot command himself. William Penn. No husband has ever been shot while doing the dishes. No one limits your growth but you. No one can build his security upon the nobleness of another person. Willa Cather. No arsenal, or no weapon in the arsenals of the world, is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. Ronald Reagan. Nobody need wait a single moment to improve the world. Nobody ever went broke underestimating the taste of the American public. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission. None will improve your lot if you yourself do not. Bertolt Brecht, 1933. Not everyone is honest and good. Not every man truly lives. Braveheart. Nothing splendid has ever been achieved except by those who dared believe that something inside them was superior to circumstance. Bruce Barton. Nothing happens unless first a dream. Carl Sandburg. Carl Sandburg. Nothing happens until somebody sells something. Mary Kay Ash. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. Nothing's beautiful from every point of view. Horace. O Lord, help me to be pure, but not yet. Saint Augustine. Oh, your friend, it's not what they take away from you that counts. It's what you do with what you have left. Hubert Humphrey. Old age ain't no place for sissies. Bette Davis. One person with a belief is equal to a force of 99 with only interests. John Stuart Mill. One can never consent to creep when one feels the impulse to soar. One machine can do the work of 50 ordinary men. No machine can do the work of one extraordinary man. One of the greatest pieces of economic wisdom is to know what you do not know. John Kenneth Galbraith. One of your friends told me she was in labor for 36 hours. I don't even want to do anything that feels good for 36 hours. Only Irish coffee provides in a single glass all 4 essential food groups: alcohol, caffeine, sugar, and fat. Alex Levine. Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. T.S. Eliot. Only by giving are you able to receive more than you already have. Only the person who risks is truly free. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Alva Edison. Originality is the fine art of remembering what you heard but forgetting where you heard it. Our progress as a nation can be no swifter than our progress in education. The human mind is our fundamental resource. John F. Kennedy. Our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. Thomas Carlyle. Our prayers are answered not when we are given what we ask, but when we are challenged to be what we can be. Morris Adler. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Martin Luther King, Jr. Our grand business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. Thomas Carlyle. Our mind is the most valuable possession that we have. Out of the mouths of babes come things parents never should have said. Part of the happiness of life consists not in fighting battles but in avoiding them. Patience is a bitter plant that produces sweet fruit. Charles Swindoll. Patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. Peace on earth will come to stay, when we live Christmas every day. Helen Steiner Rice. Peace of mind is not the absence of conflict from life, but the ability to cope with it. People become really quite remarkable when they start thinking that they can do things. When they believe in themselves, they have the first secret of success. People get tired of every celebrity. People are very open-minded about new things as long as they're exactly like the old ones. People are eternally divided into 2 classes, the believer, builder, and praiser, and the unbeliever, destroyer and critic. People who look for the easy way out seem to have trouble finding an exit. People who think they know everything are a great annoyance to those of us who do. Isaac Asimov. Wine is constant proof that God loves us and loves to see us happy. People of mediocre ability sometimes achieve outstanding success because they don't know when to quit. People have more options than they think they do, but most people spend more time planning their vacations than thinking about what they want to do with their lives. Bob McDonald. People become what they believe themselves to be. People are like stained glass windows. They sparkle and shine when the sun is out, but when the darkness sets in, their true beauty is revealed only if there is a light from within. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. People judge you by the way you look on the outside. Perfection is achieved, not when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Picture in your mind a sense of personal destiny. Wayne Oates. Power is about what you can control. Freedom is about what you can unleash. Harriet Rubin. Problems are only opportunities in work clothes. Henry J. Kaiser. Problems are made to be overcome. Procrastination is the art of keeping up with yesterday. I refuse to join any club that would have me as a member. Progress, however, of the best kind, is comparatively slow. Great results cannot be achieved at once, and we must be satisfied to advance in life as we walk, step by step. Samuel Smiles. Progress in every age results only from the fact that there are some men and women who refuse to believe that what they know to be right cannot be done. Russell W. Davenport. The best thing to give to your enemy is forgiveness, to an opponent, tolerance, to a friend, your heart, to your child, a good example, to a father, deference, to your mother, conduct that will make her proud of you, to yourself, respect, to all men, charity. Arthur James Balfour. Properly directed willpower will succeed when it is working for a just cause. Reach out to talk to people sometimes. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Confucius. Real success is finding your life work in the work that you love. Refuse to become discouraged by defeats. Render service to many to be successful. Resolve to pay any price or make any sacrifice to get into the top in your field. Resume, a written exaggeration of only the good things a person has done in the past, as well as a wish list of the qualities a person would like to have. Bo Bennett. Rid your mind of false notions. Santa Claus has the right idea, visit people only once a year. Victor Borge. Search for excellence. Seek out that particular mental attribute which makes you feel most deeply and vitally alive, along with which comes the inner voice which says, "This is the real me," and when you have found that attitude, follow it. William James. Self-pity gets you nowhere. One must have the adventurous daring to accept oneself as a bundle of possibilities and undertake the most interesting game in the world, making the most of one's best. Harry Emerson Fosdick. Sex is always good as long as you're not hurting anyone else. Sex at age 90 is like trying to shoot pool with a rope. Camille Paglia. Sex is one of the 9 reasons for reincarnation. The other 8 are unimportant. Sharing enhances your life. Sharpen your skills. Sleep is when all the unsorted stuff comes flying out as from a dustbin upset in a high wind. William Golding. So long as you could keep from hurting anyone else, you have lived, as completely as it was possible, the life of your choice. Ellen Glasgow. So great has been the endurance, so incredible the achievement, that, as long as the sun keeps a set course in heaven, it would be foolish to despair of the human race. Ernest L. Woodward. Solve a problem by thinking about it. Some men give up their designs when they have almost reached the goal, while others, on the contrary, obtain a victory by exerting, at the last moment, more vigorous efforts than ever before. Herodotus. Sometimes it's a form of love just to talk to somebody that you have nothing in common with and still be fascinated by their presence. David Byrne. Some people procrastinate so much that all they can do is run around like firefighters all day putting out fires that should not have gotten started in the first place. Some cause happiness wherever they go, others whenever they go. Some men see things as they are and ask why. Others dream things that never were and ask why not. Some prices are just too high, no matter how much you may want the prize. The one thing you can't trade for your heart's desire is your heart. Lois McMaster Bujold, Memory, 1996. Sometimes you wonder if men and women really suit each other. Perhaps they should live next door and just visit now and then. Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Stand for something or you will fall for anything. Start each day by affirming peaceful, contented, and happy attitudes and your days will tend to be pleasant and successful. Norman Vincent Peale. Stay focused on your purpose. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Mahatma Gandhi. Stress is linked to heart disease, cancer, and stroke. Strive for constant improvement. Succeed at everything you do. Success is a peace of mind which is a direct result of the self-satisfaction knowing you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming. Success breeds success. Success is the person you become. Success depends on depth of desire. Success is the maximum utilization of the ability that you have. Zig Ziglar. Success is due less to ability than to zeal. The winner is he who gives himself to his work, body, and soul. Charles Buxton. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Success is intelligent hard work. Success in the end erases all the mistakes along the way. Success is the natural consequences of consistently applying basic fundamentals. Success demands that we learn to discipline our disappointment. Successful people tend to become more successful because they always work at it. Successful, self-starting individuals don't make excuses. Successful people are always looking for opportunities to help others. Take this kiss upon the brow. And, in parting from you now, thus much let me avow. You are not wrong who deem that your days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in a night, or in a day, in a vision, or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. Edgar Allan Poe. Take your life in your own hands, and what happens? A terrible thing, no one is to blame. Erica Jong. Take the action without thinking much. Take the attitude of a student. Never be too big to ask questions. Never know too much to learn something new. Ogmandino. Take the first step in faith. Talk not of wasted affection, affection never was wasted. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Tell the truth. Tell, wish, films. Why can't somebody give us a list of things that everybody thinks and nobody says, and another list of things that everybody says and nobody thinks? Oliver Wendell Holmes, Sr. 10 men waiting for me at the door? Send one of them home, I'm tired. Mae West. That government is best which governs least. Thomas Paine. That it will never come again is what makes life so sweet. Emily Dickinson. The greatest risk in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing, and becomes nothing. The only tyrant you accept in this world is the still voice within. Mahatma Gandhi. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Weak desire brings weak results, just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. The most important thing you learned from big companies is that creativity gets stifled when everyone's got to follow the rules. David Kelly. The wise learns more from the fool than the fools from the wise. The shy man will not learn, the impatient man should not teach. Hillel. The real price of everything, what everything really costs to the man who wants to acquire it, is the toil and trouble of acquiring it. Adam Smith. The way to have a friend is to be one. The starting point of all achievement is desire. No man was ever wise by chance. Seneca. The most glorious moments in your life are not the so-called days of success, but rather those days when out of dejection and despair you feel rise in you a challenge to life and the promise of future accomplishments. Gustave Flaubert. The sound of failure can be found in excuses. The thoughts we choose to think are the tools we use to paint the canvas of our lives. Louise Hay. The secret of a good sermon is to have a good beginning and a good ending and have the two as close together as possible. The only man who never makes mistakes is the man who never does anything. The greatest pleasure you know is to do a good action by stealth and to have it found out by accident. Charles Lamb. The secret of man's being is not only to live but to have something to live for. Dostoevsky. The male is a domestic animal which, if treated with firmness and kindness, can be trained to do most things. Jilly Cooper. The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, the wise grows it under his feet. James Oppenheim. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather in a lack of will. Vincent T. Lombardi. The secret of success is making your vocation your vacation. Mark Twain. The man who trims himself to suit everybody will soon whittle himself away. Charles Schwab. The important thing is this, to be able at any moment to sacrifice what we are for what we could become. Charles Dubois. The most damaging phrase in the language is, "It's always been done that way." Rear Admiral Grace Hopper. The path to success is action. The starting point of achievement is desire. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The mediocre teacher tells. The good teacher explains. The superior teacher demonstrates. The great teacher inspires. William A. Ward. The more you pour out, the more life will pour in. The worst thing about television is that everybody you see on television is doing something better than what you're doing. The key to achievement is thinking than doing. The average dog is a nicer person than the average person. Andy Rooney. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. The victory of success is half won when one gains the habit of setting goals and achieving them. Even the most tedious chore will become endurable as you parade through each day convinced that every task, no matter how menial or boring, brings you closer to fulfilling your dreams. The spirit and the will to excel are all important. The place to improve the world is first in one's own heart and head and hands. Robert M. Pirsig. The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches but to reveal to him his own. Benjamin Disraeli. The vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by and this you will become. James Lane Allen. The secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes. Benjamin Disraeli. The greatness of a nation can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Mohandas Gandhi. The only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. Arthur C. Clarke. The best way to have what you want is to want what you have. The best thing you can spend on your children is time. The heart sees what is invisible to the eye. The only person you can really correct and change is yourself. The cardiologist's diet: if it tastes good, spit it out. The distance is nothing, it is only the first step that is difficult. Madame du Deffand. The reason a dog has so many friends is that he wags his tail instead of his tongue. The chief value of money lies in the fact that one lives in a world in which it is overestimated. H. L. Mencken, 1880–1956. The difficulties of life are intended to make us better, not bitter. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin Roosevelt. The right to do something does not mean that doing it is right. The first magic of love is our ignorance that it can ever end. The number of times you succeed is a direct proportion to the number of times you fail and keep trying. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. The world is full of dreamers. There aren't enough who will move ahead and take concrete steps to actualize their vision. W. Clement Stone. The longest journey of any person is the journey inward. Dag Hammarskjöld. The proper function of man is to live, not to exist. Jack London. The highest proof of virtue is to possess boundless power without abusing it. Lord Macaulay. The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking places. The male is a domestic animal which, if treated with firmness and kindness, can be trained to do most things. Jilly Cooper. The secret of making something work in your lives is, first of all, the deep desire to make it work, then the faith and belief that it can work, then to hold that clear definite vision in your consciousness and see it working out step by step, without one thought of doubt or disbelief. Eileen Caddy. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. The time is always right to do what is right. Martin Luther King, Jr. The few who do are the envy of the many who watch. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. The day you stop giving is the day you stop receiving. The day you stop learning is the day you stop growing. The only thing in life that will always remain the same is change. The true measure of a man is how he treats someone who can do him absolutely no good. The happiest of people do not necessarily have the best of everything. They just make the most of everything that comes along their way. The trick, I've learned, is to be awake to the moment. The task ahead of us is never as great as the power behind us. The best way to accomplish something is to do it, then find the courage afterwards. The mind is not a vessel to be filled but a fire to be kindled. Plutarch. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials. Confucius. The future looks bright. People begin to become successful when they decide to be. The list of U.S. vetoes at the Security Council to protect Israeli aggression and occupation is huge. Noam Chomsky. The only limits to possibilities are excuses. The roots of true achievement lie in the will to become the best that you can become. Harold Taylor. The most terrifying words in the English language are "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." The more people have studied different methods of bringing up children, the more they have come to the conclusion that what good mothers and fathers instinctively feel like doing is best after all. Benjamin Spock. The way to love anything is to realize that it may be lost. Gilbert K. Chesterton. The supernatural is the natural not yet understood. The only thing one can be sure of changing is oneself. The advice of the elders to young men is very apt to be as unreal as a list of the 100 best books. Oliver Wendell Holmes, Jr. The value of a principle is the number of things it will explain. The earth is the mother of all people and all people should have equal rights upon it. Chief Joseph. The one thing worse than a quitter is the person who is afraid to begin. The only battle to win is the battle within. The reason for setting goals is to entice you to become the person it takes to achieve them. The human spirit is to grow strong by conflict. William Ellery Channing. The marble not yet carved can hold the form of every thought the greatest artist has. Michelangelo. The phrase working mother is redundant. Jane Selman. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. The desire of knowledge, like the thirst for riches, increases ever with the acquisition of it. Lawrence Stern. The world is full of poetry. The air is living with its spirit, and the waves dance to the music of its melodies and sparkle in its brightness. Percival. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world, the unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore all progress depends on the unreasonable man. The journey is the reward. The earth laughs in flowers. E. E. Cummings. The world is here for me to enjoy. James Oppenheim. The only unnatural sex act is that which you cannot perform. Alfred Kinsey. The more you share what you possess with others, the more your wealth increases. There are untapped possibilities within us and new beauty waiting to be born. There is no use trying, said Alice, one can't believe impossible things. I dare say you haven't had much practice, said the Queen. When I was your age, I always did it for half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. Lewis Carroll. There is always a better way. There are a number of mechanical devices which increase sexual arousal, particularly in women. Chief among these is the Mercedes-Benz 500 SL. Lynn Lavner. There are 2 primary choices in life, to accept conditions as they exist, or accept the responsibility for changing them. Dr. Dennis Waitley. There are 2 kinds of people, those who do the work and those who take the credit. Try to be in the first group, there is less competition there. Indira Gandhi. There are plenty of problems in the world. Try to be good in your own way. There is no great success without great commitment. There are 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. There is no remedy for love but to love more. There is a thin line between being brilliantly creative and acting like an idiot. Henry David Thoreau. There are many ways of going forward, but there is only one way of standing still. There is one art of which man should be master, the art of reflection. There is only one way to find out if a man is honest, ask him. If he says yes, he's not honest. Groucho Marx. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. There can be no happiness if the things we believe in are different from the things we do. There is nothing so fatal to character as half-finished tasks. David Lloyd George. There are 3 easy ways of losing money: racing is the quickest, women the most pleasant, and farming the most certain. Lord Amherst. There is a lot more to life than just struggling to make money. There are many resistance movements in the world, like the IRA for instance. But it is only Islamic resistance movements that are put on the terrorist list. Ahmed Yasin. There is in every true woman's heart a spark of heavenly fire, which lies dormant in the broad daylight of prosperity, but which kindles up and beams and blazes in the dark hour of adversity. Elizabeth Guizot. There is no disguise which can hide love for long where it exists or simulate it where it does not. There is no psychiatrist in the world like a puppy licking your face. Ben Williams. There is a place called knowing. There are lots of people who mistake their imagination for their memory. There are 2 educations. One should teach us how to make a living and the other how to live. John Adams. There is magic in enthusiasm. There are 3 kinds of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. There is only one kind of love, but there are 1,000 imitations. There are no uninteresting things, only uninterested people. Gilbert K. Chesterton. There is only one small letter between the words can and can't. Nothing is more powerful for your future than being a gatherer of good ideas and information. There will come a time when you believe everything is finished. That will be the beginning. Louis L'Amour. There are no failures in life, only work. There is no limit to how happy you can feel. There's very little advice in men's magazines, because men think, I know what I'm doing. Just show me somebody naked. Jerry Seinfeld. There's a new medical crisis. Doctors are reporting that many men are having allergic reactions to latex condoms. They say they cause severe swelling. So what's the problem? Dustin Hoffman. They say marriages are made in heaven. But so is thunder and lightning. Things done by half are never quite right. Think big to the boundaries of your dreams. Think and become rich because nothing can stand in your way. Think not about your frustrations, but about your unfulfilled potential. Think about your work filled with love, joy, inner peace, and harmony. Think. Why think? We have computers to do that for us. Jean Rostand. 35 is when you finally get your head together and your body starts falling apart. This suspense is terrible. I hope it will last. Oscar Wilde. This country has come to feel the same when Congress is in session as when the baby gets hold of a hammer. Will Rogers. This universe is bursting with riches for every one of us. Those who love deeply never grow old, they may die of old age, but they die young. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no. It is an ever-fixed mark, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. Those who stand for nothing fall for anything. Alexander Hamilton. Those who bring sunshine into the lives of others, cannot keep it from themselves. Sir James M. Barrie. Thoughtfulness for others, generosity, modesty, and self-respect are the qualities which make a real gentleman or lady. Thomas H. Huxley. Thoughts and ideas create wealth. Thoughts determine what you want. Action determines what you get. Till the seas gang dry, your dear, and the rocks melt wi the sun, you will love thee still, your dear, while the sands o' life shall run. Robert Burns. Love is, above all, the gift of oneself. Jean Anoval. Time is but the stream you go a-fishing in. Time management is a list of rules that involves scheduling, setting goals, planning, creating lists of things to do and prioritizing. Time, patience, and perseverance will accomplish a lot. Time is the wisest counselor. Pericles. Time is not an enemy unless you try to kill it. Tired nature's sweet restorer, balmy sleep. Edward Young. To attract committed people, you must be committed. To attract powerful people, you must be powerful. To live in the presence of great truths and eternal laws, to be led by permanent ideals, that is what keeps a man patient when the world ignores him and calm and unspoiled when the world praises him. Honoré de Balzac. To conquer without risk is to triumph without glory. El Cid. To be a winner, give all you have. To be 70 years young is sometimes far more cheerful and hopeful than to be 40 years old. Oliver Wendell Holmes. To be happy, just decide to be a happy person. To follow, without halt, one aim, that's the secret of success. To understand the heart and mind of a person, look not at what he has already achieved, but at what he aspires to. To the dull mind all nature is leaden. To the illumined mind the whole world burns and sparkles with light. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. To succeed you need to find something to inspire you. To be capable of steady friendship or lasting love are the two greatest proofs, not only of goodness of heart, but of strength of mind. William Hazlitt. To love what you do and feel that it matters, how on earth could anything be more fun? Katharine Graham. To keep our faces toward change and behave like free spirits in the presence of fate is strength undefeatable. To be or not to be? That's not really a question. Jean-Luc Godard. To attract attractive people, you must be attractive. To get back your youth you would do anything in the world, except take exercise, get up early or be respectable. To me, old age is 15 years older than you are. Bernard Baruch. Today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday. Too much of a good thing is just right. Mae West. True friends stab you in the front. True love is the greatest thing in the world. True enjoyment comes from activity of the mind and exercise of the body, the two are ever united. Humboldt. True success in life is not measured by how much you make, but by how much of a difference you make. The secret of success is consistency of purpose. Trust yourself. Try to smile. Try to learn something new every day. Try not to keep pent-up anger or frustrations. It's bad for your health. Find ways of expressing them in a way that will not cause more injury or hurt to anyone. Working hard brings satisfaction. Try for smiles, hugs, kindness, truth, justice, peace, dreams, the imagination and fun. Turn weaknesses into strengths. 20 years from now you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines. Sail away from the safe harbor. Catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore. Dream. Discover. 20 years from now you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines. Sail away from the safe harbor. Catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore. Dream. Discover. 2 months from now you will have completely forgotten this setback. Under certain circumstances, profanity provides a relief denied even to prayer. Unfinished tasks make you feel bad. Unreasonable haste is the direct road to error. Jean-Baptiste Molière. Use obstacles as stepping stones to build the life you want. Use what talent you possess. The woods would be very silent if no birds sang except those that sang best. Henry Van Dyke. Usually a person has more faith in their fear than faith in their future. Doug Firebaugh. Victory lies in overcoming obstacles every day. View all the things that happen to you, both good and bad, as opportunities. Vision is the art of seeing the invisible. Jonathan Swift. Vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. Japanese proverb. Wake up every morning full of joy and confidence. Wake up feeling refreshed. We are all here on earth to help others, what on earth the others are here for I don't know. W.H. Auden. We have much to do together. Let us do it in wisdom and love and joy. Let us make this the human experience. Gary Zukav. We have a number of difficulties facing our nation, but I believe fatherlessness is right at the top of the list. Tony Dungy. We don't know who we are until we see what we can do. Martha Grimes. We give dogs time we can spare, space we can spare, and love we can spare. In return, dogs give us their all. It's the best deal man has ever made. M. Aklam. We should be eternally vigilant against attempts to check the expression of opinions that we loathe. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. We are all born for love. It is the principle of existence and its only end. We act as though comfort and luxury were the chief requirements of life, when all that we need to make us really happy is something to be enthusiastic about. Charles Kingsley. We would worry less about what others think of us if we realized how seldom they do. Ethel Barrett. We grow great by dreams. We must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly we shall all hang separately. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. We are in charge of our attitudes. When you stand before God at the end of your life, you would hope that you would not have a single bit of talent left and could say, I used everything you gave me. Irma Bombeck. We could certainly slow the aging process down if it had to work its way through Congress. We all need long-range goals to help us pass the short-term obstacles. We are all pencils in the hand of a writing God, who is sending love letters to the world. We have the best government that money can buy. We can have more than we've got because we can become more than we are. We have to do the best we can. This is our sacred human responsibility. We've all heard that a million monkeys banging on a million typewriters will eventually reproduce the entire works of Shakespeare. Now, thanks to the internet, we know this is not true. Robert Wilinski. Wealth is the abundance of life to everyone who creates it. What you do every day should contribute to giving your life meaning. What this power is, you cannot say. All you know is that it exists. And it becomes available only when you are in that state of mind in which you know exactly what you want and are fully determined not to quit until you get it. Alexander Graham Bell. What hath night to do with sleep? What would men be without women? Scarce, sir. Mighty scarce. What you get by achieving goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Zig Ziglar. What we see depends mainly on what we look for. John Lubbock. What brings real joy is the experience of being fully engaged in whatever I'm doing. What you become directly influences what you get. What a pity that so many people rather believe their doubts and doubt their beliefs. Have no doubts and believe our beliefs. What counts is not necessarily the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Dwight D. Eisenhower. What's the use of happiness? It can't buy you money. Henny Youngman. Whatever women do they must do twice as well as men to be thought half as good. Luckily, this is not difficult. Charlotte Whitten. Whatever you do, or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Whatever your hand finds to do it with all your heart. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Dr. Napoleon Hill. When one door closes, another door opens, but we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door, that we do not see the ones which open for us. When you wake up, feel great and full of energy. When women are depressed, they either eat or go shopping. Men invade another country. Elaine Busselr. When you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Franklin D. Roosevelt. When somebody shares, everybody wins. When defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound, rebuild those plans and set sail once more toward your coveted goal. When you examine yourself and your methods of thought, you come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than your talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Albert Einstein. When I'm good, I'm very, very good, but when I'm bad, I'm better. When we talk to God, we're praying. When God talks to us, we're schizophrenic. When you want to, you can. When you believe you can, then you acquire the ability to do it even if you didn't have it in the beginning. No person was ever honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave. Calvin Coolidge. When the conduct of men is designed to be influenced, persuasion, kind unassuming persuasion, should ever be adopted. It is an old and true maxim that a drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. When you feel down, try to laugh a little. Try to have fun. When you take charge of your life, there is no longer a need to ask permission of other people or society at large. Jeffrey F. Abbott. When your star is falling, let it shine brightly. When Andrew Carnegie died, they discovered a sheet of paper upon which he had written one of the major goals of his life: to spend the first half of his life accumulating money and to spend the last half of his life giving it all away. And he did. When you get into a tight place and everything goes against you, till it seems as though you could not hang on a minute longer, never give up then, for it is just the place and time that the tide will turn. Harriet Beecher Stowe. When we are motivated by goals that have deep meaning, by dreams that need completion, by pure love that needs expressing, then we truly live life. Greg Anderson. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. Bhagavad Gita. I can give you a 6-word formula for success: think things through, then follow through. Captain Edward V. Rickenbacker. When you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, you think it's only a minute. But when you sit on a hot stove for a minute, you think it's 2 hours. That's relativity. When you see what some women marry, you realize how they must hate to work for a living. Helen Rowland. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. I'm fat, but I'm thin inside. Do the thing you fear most and the death of fear is certain. When you judge another, you look bad. Where there is love, there is life. Mohandas Gandhi. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. While you work, you stop thinking about your worries. Whoso loves believes the impossible. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Who looks outside, dreams; who looks inside, awakens. Carl Jung. Winners are ordinary people with extraordinary heart. Winning is an attitude. Losing is an attitude. Winning is habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. Winning is an attitude of doing things right. Wisdom is knowing what to do next, virtue is doing it. Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast. William Shakespeare. Wish I had taken more action. With God everything is possible. Within each of us lies the power of our consent to health and sickness, to riches and poverty, to freedom and to slavery. It is we who control these and not another. Richard Bach, Illusions. Without constant activity, you fade away. Without humor, you don't have much. Women complain about premenstrual syndrome, but you think of it as the only time of the month that you can be myself. Roseanne. Women need a reason to have sex. Men just need a place. Billy Crystal. Women might be able to fake orgasms, but men can fake whole relationships. Sharon Stone. Women and cats will do as they please, and men and dogs should relax and get used to the idea. Robert A. Heinlein. Work and struggle and never accept an evil that you can change. André Gide. Work enriches your mind. Work on things that you feel worthy of your time. Work is a pleasure. Work and desire are invincible. Work as though you would live forever and live as though you would die today. Work and play are the same when you're doing what you want all the time. Worries and negative thoughts slide off like water. Worry is like a rocking chair, it gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Dorothy Gallion. Worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Yard by yard, everything is hard. Inch by inch, everything's a cinch. Yearn to understand first and to be understood second. Bika Allen. Years may wrinkle the skin, but lack of enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Yesterday's the past and tomorrow's the future. Today is a gift, which is why they call it the present. Bill Keane. You can't change people. You just alienate them. You never see anybody on TV just sliding off the front of the sofa with potato chip crumbs all over their shirt. You don't get to choose how you're going to die, or when. You can only decide how you're going to live. Joan Baez. You are alive today in the present moment. You need a sense of urgency. You can't turn back the clock, but you can wind it up again. You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late. You will find, as you look back upon your life, that the moments when you really lived are the moments when you have done things in the spirit of love. Henry Drummond. You can learn new things at any time in your life if you're willing to be a beginner. If you actually learn to like being a beginner, the whole world opens up to you. Barbara Sher. You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. You have within you everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. You get paid for the value you bring to the hour. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing which you think you cannot do. You have within you right now the same power anyone else has. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be, do anything you set out to accomplish if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose. Abraham Lincoln. You need to deal with whatever life throws at you. You can't change the past, and you can ruin a perfectly good present by worrying about the future. You will do foolish things, but do them with enthusiasm. Colette. You see things, and you say why. But I dream things that never were, and I say why not. You see things, and you say why. But you dream things that never were, and you say why not. George Bernard Shaw, 1856 to 1950. You must translate wisdom and strong feelings into labor. You can be discouraged by failure, or you can learn from it. You don't get to choose how you're going to die or when. You can only decide how you're going to live. Eleanor Roosevelt. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. You never achieve real success unless you like what you are doing. Dale Carnegie. You must live in the present, launch yourself on every wave, find your eternity in each moment. Fools stand on their opportunities and look toward another land. There is no other land, there is no other life but this. You see a lot of smart guys with dumb women, but you hardly ever see a smart woman with a dumb guy. Erica Jong. You can be anything you want as long as you have enough energy and willpower. You live your intentions every minute. You can have what you want if you give enough other people what they want. You want, therefore you can. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. You know what you want and you believe you can get it. Norman Vincent Peale, When You Want, You Can, 1974. You cannot be mad at somebody who makes you laugh. You cannot shake hands with a clenched fist. Indira Gandhi. You never lose by loving. You lose by holding back. You cannot teach a man anything, you can only help him find it within himself. Galileo. You can become more than you are. You can't make someone else's choices. You shouldn't let someone else make yours. You cannot build a reputation on what you intend to do. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. You are not judged by the number of times you fail, but the number of times you succeed. You must look into people, as well as at them. Lord Chesterfield. You have powers you never dreamed of. You can do things you never thought you could do. There are no limitations in what you can do except the limitations of your own mind. Darwin P. Kingsley. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Your mind creates harmonious situations. Your ideas need work. Your belief determines your action and your action determines your results. Your only obligation is to be true to yourself. Being true to anyone else or anything else is impossible. Richard Bach. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Your willpower is getting stronger and stronger. Your ability to solve problems effectively is the key to success. Youth would be an ideal state if it came a little later in life. Herbert Henry Asquith. Chapter 2. A list of positive ideas. 1. I got this list by perusing maybe 20 books in the self-help section at the library, number 155 on the Dewey Decimal Scale. Believe in something like yourself or God. Don't let anyone steal your joy. Work hard at what you believe in. You will get what you expect, either good or bad. Nothing is gonna happen unless you first believe in it. Keep the right perspective of your problems. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Don't magnify the negative. Magnify the positive. Act out of integrity and truth. A desire to be part of the world in daily activities and contribute to it. Attempt to live for a deeper reality than the norm. Awareness of the negative sides and control of them. Compassion for others. Focus on those things that matter to you. General curiosity about life. Honesty. Inner stability and calmness. Intense about things that matter to you. Kindness. Live full lives and help others do the same. Lots of energy. Love of life. Love for kindred spirits and soulmates. No strong need for material things beyond the basics. Peace and nonviolence. Positive attitudes. Pure motives, no hidden ulterior motives. Simplicity. Straightforward, direct. Try to help others. Strong inner strength. Want for nothing, happy in the moment. Speak through your actions. Speak the truth. Don't speak too much. Listen to everyone with respect and interest. Don't gossip, criticize or slander. Be a person of your word. Don't be trivial. Pay your debts. Honor your commitments. Accept sickness, old age, and death. Accept the uncertainty of life. Accept your limitations. Autonomy. Avoid negative people. Become your own person. Be responsible for your own happiness. Be soft and gentle. Be the best you can be. Believe in God. Character. Competence in chosen field. Create your life day by day. Empathy. Enjoy your life. Forgiveness. Fulfill your potential. Get rid of the delusion that you're the center of the universe to see yourself as a fallible human being. Have goals and dreams and stick to them. Independence. Inspired and motivated, not lazy and passive. Live by action and achievement. Live in the real world. Love people. Morality. Not dependent on parents. Persistence, perseverance, never giving up because you know all you got is personal effort day after day. Physical fitness. Pursuit of happiness. Renunciation of childish, teenage fantasies of grandeur. Respect heroic effort and use it to inspire yourself. Responsibility for your life. Responsible to significant others like spouse, kids, disabled siblings, and parents. Secure sense of identity. See failure as a learning experience on the road of life. Self-awareness, self-analysis. Self-discipline. Self-pride, self-love. Sense of social responsibility. Serious about life as opposed to frivolous. Sex and love. Social ability. Spiritual identity. Strive for greatness. Strive for truth. Use your creative powers. Wisdom. Chapter 3. A list of positive ideas 2. Sometimes when I'm at the library, I drop by the Psychobabble, self-help section which is at number 158, hashtag 306.7, love, relationships, or BF 500-700 and pick up a few books to find one-liners about how to be happy, successful, fabulous, loving, glorious, etc. The keys to success are intention, inspiration, creativity, beauty, love, kindness, abundance, expansive, receptive. Want more for others than you want for yourself. Think from the end. See yourself the way you want to be in your ideal state.